the president gave Republicans a masterclass in retaliating against the tactics of the left today. Undoubtedly weary of watching the daily smear storm buffeting his Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, President Trump decided it was time to do what he does best, fight back.
The Democrats are playing a con game, C-O-N, a con game.
Is there anything?
It's a shame. And they know it's a con game. They know he's high quality. And they wink at each other. They're winking. They know it's a con game.
Well, Donald Trump is never going to be content to hang back and play defense when he sees his agenda in jeopardy. Well, he tried that a little bit for a few days last week when the Ford allegation was dropped, and he won praise for being measured and presidential. That's nice, but meanwhile, his nominee was under massive left-wing assault as Republicans on the committee were bending over backwards to accommodate the accuser's demands for delays and various conditions. Well, Trump is back, and not a moment too soon.
It's a shame that you can do this to a person's life. And I'll tell you, maybe even more important, who's going to want to go before this system to be a Supreme Court judge or to be a judge or to be even a politician?
Well, that's a great point. And you notice how he boils it all down to a stark set of facts that can be understood by all Americans. And he's unafraid, when everyone else is telling him, don't do it, when necessary, to counterpunch.
36 years ago, nobody ever knew about it, nobody ever heard about it, and now a new charge comes up, and she said, well, it might not be him. She thinks maybe it could have been him, maybe not. She admits that she was drunk. She admits time lapses. There were time lapses.
Well, and he's taking the same approach on the world stage. At the UN today, as the global elite shifted in their chairs uncomfortably, he delivered a fiercely pro-American, pro-sovereignty message.
We will never surrender America's sovereignty to an unelected, unaccountable global bureaucracy. America is governed by Americans. We reject the ideology of globalism, and we embrace the doctrine of patriotism.
Well, he's defiant. He's unapologetic, clear. We need more, not less of that today. But I want to get back to Kavanaugh, because last week, with Trump on the sidelines, Senate Republicans walked right into the trap set by the left-wing smear squad. So folks like Senator Flake, Collins, and Murkowski, they felt pressured to give in to the Me Too militants, forcing Senate Judiciary Committee Chair Chuck Grassley to postpone last Thursday's Kavanaugh vote. When the Democrats, though, were given an inch, they took a mile, and they began to slowly take the confirmation process hostage. And what did Republicans get for all their cooperation and sensitivity? An extended, vicious news cycle.
I've heard, many predators say and refute allegations against them.
She has nothing to gain here and everything to lose, that he was a drunken, almost rapist.
And think about that. They're willing to put on the Supreme Court someone who very well may be essentially a sexual predator.
Well, a mob-like circus in the hallways of the Senate offices. And now anti-Kavanaugh nasties are targeting and trying to humiliate Republican senators when they're out in public.
We believe survivors! We believe survivors! We believe survivors! We believe survivors! We believe survivors!
Excuse me.
Bingo is way harder than you do! We believe survivors! We believe survivors!
Well, I think most Americans bristle at this stuff. These uncivil tactics and slimy smears against good people, I think, are exposing just how radicalized, how contemptible some strains of today's Democratic Party has become. But I think there is something positive that's emerged in all of this. Republicans are beginning to see what they're capable of actually accomplishing when they work together. Without the inter-party fights, the warfare inter-party, they can actually do a good deal of good. I'm told that President George W. Bush is making calls on Kavanaugh's behalf. And it was very encouraging to see McConnell stand firm.
Justice matters. Evidence matters. Facts matter. Vague, unsubstantiated, and uncorroborated allegations of 30-plus-year-old misconduct where all the supposed witnesses either totally deny it or can't confirm it is nowhere near grounds to nullify someone's career or destroy their good name.
Amen. And it's about time all Republicans called this out, what they've done to Brett Kavanaugh, for what it is. It's a total disgrace. But the Democrats, of course, conveniently look the other way when their heroes are accused of rape, abusive interns, and even when they leave a woman to die in 5 feet of water. But Kavanaugh, with no criminal record and no pattern of abusive conduct, must be destroyed at all costs. A lot of you may not know that Texas Senate candidate Beto O'Rourke, the new darling of the left, actually has a criminal record, including a DWI and a burglary arrest, but no big deal. Okay, come on. At least he condemned what happened to Ted Cruz last night. That was nice. Negotiating with terrorists. We hear that it's always a bad idea, almost always. By doing so, what do you get? You get more terrorism. It is good that the GOP has not given in to this rabid mob mentality, because to do so would have only emboldened the worst instincts of the left. Senator Grassley's decision to schedule the Kavanaugh committee vote this Friday in the morning is another positive development tonight. If the GOP continues to fight for fairness and justice in the way that Trump has on issue after issue, we may not only see a Justice Kavanaugh, we may just hold the majority come November. And that's the angle.